Good morning, friends. This is going to be a really chaotic vlog. I was just halfway through getting ready and I decided that I want to participate in Dewey's 24-hour readathon.
Oh! You don't want to go dirt biking?
No, I do.
While reading?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you. I feel like I have enough vlogs already in the works and already planned and already posted, and also I don't really have time to dedicate an entire day to my, like, not my TBR, but I'm reading my TBR for other videos, so I can't also read it in here. So I kind of need to just like pick new things to read today, but I also want to be able to complete them today. Also, I have 100 things to do today. We're already 3 hours into the readathon. It starts at 5 a.m. my time. I've already, you know, started my day. I already made this like really yummy breakfast hash. I've already half gotten ready, and I saw this bingo board that Dewey's posted and I can't resist a game. It is an annual thing for me. I usually extend it into an entire weekend. I usually read space. That's not what's happening right now because I can't fit a whole like weekend vlog in right now. But I haven't read any of the bingo board. I have no idea what's on it. But I was thinking I'll pick like 5 books off my TBR that I think is reasonable to read in one day, and then I'll look through the bingo board, and if there's a book that can complete me a bingo, then that is a sign that Dewey's is going to be successful and I should do it. And yeah. So what do we do? I know sometimes for Dewey's people try to read like 5 books in one day. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to hang out with you for the whole day. A day in my life, if you will, while I read one thing. I'm leaning towards a short story collection. I just feel like this could be conducive to how we slice up this video into each like hour. I already have plans to read so many different things up here for various videos. I don't want to read anything too serious. I don't want to read anything too fantastical. I don't want to read anything too long. Honestly, okay, wait, maybe I just want to pick this. 2 minutes into the video, I'm already going back on what I just said. But I just want to look at the bingo board and see if I can make this work, because I really, really want to read it. I just bought it. Look how beautiful it is, etc. Let's just see. Okay, the B's. Read a book that's won an award. We already can't do the B column. The I. Okay. Read a book with no supernatural elements. So contemporary or romance. I can't say that. It has Macbeth in it. It has Hamlet in it. It has Twelfth Night. Some are definitely just going to be realistic, but I do feel like there are authors in here who are going to introduce some like paranormal elements. And read a book with a unique cover. Yeah. Read a standalone. Can we call this a standalone? Sure. Free space. Perfect. Read the book oldest on your TBR. No. Okay, going to the G's. Flip a coin to pick your first read. That doesn't work. Oh, participate in a 60-minute reading sprint. I can do that. That has nothing to do with the book. Perfect. Okay. Enjoy a snack or drink that's new to you. I can easily do that. That has nothing to do with reading. Read a book with a character that shares similar characteristics as you. Lady Macbeth. I feel like we won't know that until we read it. Let's keep going. Make your own bookmark. Make my own bookmark? I can do that. That doesn't have to do with reading either. Read in your PJs. I can do that. Oh my god, we're doing the O column. Okay. That actually fits. Like Shakespeare, you know, starts every... Me trying to justify my decision. Oh, you know, oh, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Oh is kind of Shakespeare's thing. That's Romeo and Juliet. Act 2, Scene 2. Or, what is that one that's like, oh, beware my lord of jealousy. The green, oh my god, what is it? The green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. Othello, Act 3, Scene 3. Or, I'm pretty sure a character exclaims, oh, I am slain, in like 3 different 10 different of Shakespeare's works. Okay, we're doing that. I just justified my entire decision. Are you mad at me? I don't know. I didn't even tell you what this is. Okay, I need to calm down. This is That Way Madness Lies, reimagined Shakespeare. Oh, Shakespeare's, what? That Way Madness Lies of Shakespeare's most notable works, reimagined. I'm reading this like, am I okay? It's edited by Dahlia Adler. There are stories in here from Kate Ingram, from Lily Anderson, from Patrice Caldwell, from Brittany Cavallaro, Anna Marie McLemore, Tony Onyubuchi, a bunch of other authors I haven't read before. 15 celebrated authors put a modern spin on William Shakespeare's beloved classics for a new generation. Can I also use this as an excuse to finally invest in the collection of, what are they? They're these really beautiful editions. I think there's like 38 different ones. I forget what they're called. The Pelican Shakespeare series. I have wanted them for so long, but how do you justify buying them? Especially when I've already started my collection of Shakespeare. Okay, some of them are missing, but I've started collecting the Harold Bloom editions, but I think the other ones are way prettier. It's really nice outside, but it's supposed to rain all day, which is why I thought like reading all day would also be a good idea, because we're obviously not going to spend that much time outside. So while it's nice out, I'm going to go run a couple errands and a couple other things that we'll hang out. I'll read a story an hour. How about that? I also happen to have the audiobook, so maybe there will be moments where I can be listening, and then some moments I can be physically reading, and then maybe I will read a Shakespeare play in addition to the whole book today. We'll see how it goes. Sorry, I just attacked Rob with the tripod. Say sorry, everyone. What am I doing? So for the readathon as a whole, this is hour 3, but for me it's hour 1, and I'm gonna update you for the next 15 hours. So there's a little intro in here. I don't know why I needed to show you. I don't need to show you. And then it's split up into comedies, a sonnet, and then tragedies, and then late romance. There is an introduction, and then we start with Severe Weather Warning by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, who I've heard of their collaboration Null books a lot, but I've never read anything from them. So I'm actually going to listen to the audiobook for this while I finish getting ready. I'm pretty sure each of the stories is narrated by the author, or is at least narrated by a different voice actor. The audiobook was provided to me by Macmillan early, like a month ago, and I just didn't get to it.
Severe Weather Warning. Inspired by The Tempest. Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason 'gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance.
Okay, I finished Severe Weather Warning, and I finished getting ready, and now we're leaving. I don't know what I'm giving it. Did I tell you it's inspired by The Tempest, which isn't one of my favorite things from Shakespeare anyway. I do like how there's a little piece of the play in the beginning, like a little quote, because obviously they couldn't include the entirety of all of his works in here like they did with the Edgar Allan Poe anthology. So it's nice that there's a little taste of it. I'm always interested to see how anthologies are organized. My nerdiness has convinced me that it would be so fun to edit an anthology. So beyond like the comedy and tragedy portions, which I think is smart, though the first story like wasn't funny, so I don't really know about the organization of it yet in that way. But I also think it's just interesting to see if there's some sort of theme with the organization of the stories. Like, why was this the first one chosen? Why did they get put in a certain order? The first one I feel like had a good amount of characters, like too many characters that like should be in a short story, but fits with the Shakespeare theme, and I feel like that might have been chosen first because it's kind of a good introduction to like having too many characters, because I have a feeling that future ones based on the plays that have been chosen are just gonna have tons and tons of characters. But that one was like an easy, safe introduction, though I didn't really enjoy it necessarily. It's about a bunch of different people and their relationships with each other, and like choosing who to be with, and like one person, it's just, you know, love triangles. Didn't really do anything for me, so I'm giving it like a middle ground 2.5 or 3 out of 5. Off we go. Okay, next update. I went to Mosaic. I bought all of the ones they had in stock, and if I buy 7 every time, I'll only need to do this 5, 6 more times, and then I'll have the whole collection. So they had, I barely even looked what it was. Okay, I got Hamlet, which is one of my favorites. I got Macbeth, another fave. I got Othello. I got Romeo and Juliet. I don't know what I call that. And then I got Taming of the Shrew. Can we call this my all-time favorite? No. One of my all-time favorites. But this is one of the ones that I read the longest ago, that I feel like this could be a fun one to reread today. I also got A Midsummer Night's Dream, a favorite. Why did they have, well, I guess they just had all of the ones that are most recognizable too. And then Much Ado About Nothing. So this is the beginning of my collection. I'm so excited. And I just finished, what's this one called? Shipwrecked, inspired by Twelfth Night, by Mark Ishiro. And again, I just thought it was okay. I think it's fun that some of these stories are about acting. Like, some of them are just going to be stories about people, and it's inspired by a play. But then in some of them, I guess they're actually going to be putting on a play, or there's going to be conversations about like Shakespeare within it, which is awesome. But I still didn't totally love it. I'm giving it like a 3 out of 5, a whole bunch of characters, a whole bunch of like confusing relationships, par for the course. But I haven't read like any of my favorite, none of these stories have been inspired by my favorites yet. But the next one is Taming of the Soulmate by Kate Ingram, inspired by Taming of the Shrew. And I just feel like this could be a win. So I'm gonna read that, and then I'll check in with you. We're stopping to grab a couple dirt bike things, and then I have to stop at the mall to get my glasses. Finally, it's time to pick them up. And I wonder if any of these could have me successfully completing another bingo, because I do think I'm gonna use one of these for the reading sprint for an hour, because this isn't really gonna work with that if I want to read 1 story per hour. Each story only takes me like 15 minutes, if that, to read. But if I want to sit down and read for an hour straight, maybe I'll do it with one of these. So I'm gonna look over the bingo board and see if there's any other bingo, because I realized I can go sideways too. I'm very smart. Or diagonally, and maybe one of the stories or one of the titles will fit with another bingo. Okay, so there's one that's read a book with a 1-word title, and then read a humorous book, read a standalone, reread a favorite, and enjoy a snack. So maybe I could hit that whole row. And then there's one that's a book set in spring or summer, which A Midsummer Night's Dream could fit for. And then participate in another challenge, and then a free space, and then read in 3 separate locations. Okay, I could do that. I already have read in 2 different locations. I read in the vehicle, and I read in my room. Great. Participate in another challenge. I like that because maybe this is my moment to participate in my own year-long readathon or reading prompt. This month for April, the buzzword is something to do with space. I don't know if you would consider the word night. I feel like you can make the rules work with whatever you want. So if we want to use the word night and have that count, if I read A Midsummer Night's Dream, it would fit for the spring summer thing and that prompt. That's not going to be until way later tonight, so I'll just keep updating you every hour on the hour. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay, next location. Picked up my glasses finally, and I'm not gonna be able to see because I have my contacts in, so, but you can see them on me. What do you think? That hurt my eyeballs. You can see Liam's face. Can you see yourself in the camera? Kate Ingram's story, Taming of the Soulmate, was my favorite so far. Yes, there's only been 3, but I just don't know if anything will beat this. It was amazing. We've got Catherine and Bianca. Definitely took me a couple pages to get 10 Things I Hate About You out of my head and get back into like the origin story of Taming of the Shrew. She gets like stuck in a closet with the guy, and it's about like feminism and soulmates, and there's like a little bit of magic, I feel, in that one. It was perfect. 5 out of 5. Very happy with how this video is progressing. I'm feeling great. I forgot I was supposed to try something new, so I just got my regular oat milk shaken espresso brown sugar thing from Starbucks. But later in the day, I think maybe I will try this that was posted today on the Lettering Lane Instagram, and it's a recipe for the Starbucks oatmeal cookie latte, which is basically what I already drink, just with added mocha and foam on the top, basically. I know I'm gonna want another Starbucks later. And I have all of these gift cards now because this thing keeps happening to me. I'm trying to collect all of the Starbucks cups, or all of their like recent Earth Day ones. They're like made of recycled materials. There's a hot one, there's a cold one, and there's a glass one. And I keep ordering in the app, and then when I show up at the store, they say it's not in stock. And then they can't refund me. So they just give me a gift card, but like I used my points to pay for it because I have all of these Starbucks points. So now I have like literally, it's happened 3 times, and I keep getting these like $25 gift cards. So I'm gonna use them. I feel terrible about it. They need to fix their system, but it's a good excuse to have another coffee later today. And then I always pay for the person behind me. So at least I'm paying it forward in some way. I don't know how interesting this content is for you.
That helps.
My last hour was spent taking Bookstagram pictures, and I read, which one? I actually skipped the next one in line, which is called King of Feathers by Anna Marie McLemore, because I have decided that A Midsummer Night's Dream is the one that I want to read later today, and I want to read this after. I just want it more fresh in my memory, and if I were to like 5-star predict the stories within here, that one I feel like could be my favorite. But I skipped ahead. I also put post-its in here so I can start tracking my ratings so I don't forget them. I skipped ahead to We Have Seen Better Days by Lily Anderson, inspired by As You Like It. I don't think I've ever read As You Like It, but this has been my favorite one in the entire collection so far. I think this should be its own like book. I'm gonna spend the next hour taking book charm pictures and editing them so we can get the listings up. And I'm gonna listen to the next story in here. Sorry, my camera's full, so now I just need to erase every photo I've ever taken. The next one in here is called I Bleed by Dahlia Adler, which is the, or no wait, kidding, I skipped one. The next one is Some Other Metal by A.R. Capetta and Corey McCarthy. It's inspired by Much Ado About Nothing, so I'm gonna listen to that. And then it'll be Dahlia Adler's, which I always just like historically enjoy the editor's story the least. So I'm hoping that's not the case here, because I don't think I've read a Dahlia Adler book, but I follow her on Twitter. She does a lot of really great things for the LGBTQIA+ community, and she has a book coming out called Cool for the Summer that I'm really excited to read. So hopefully I just love her story too. But the one I just read from Lily Anderson was a really nice surprise, because I have loved one of her books and then didn't love another one, so I wasn't sure if the one that I loved was a fluke or what. So I was cautiously optimistic for her story, so I'm really glad I ended up loving it. This bookmark I'm going to show you up close because it is freaking beautiful. This one has a fairy on it, which fits with the whole Midsummer Night's theme, so I love that for us. But the one that I just read is basically about camping. Like, we're following a character whose father runs a camp, and it's like a camp for adults, and he basically ends up kind of using it as an excuse to like kind of abandon his family maybe it's like him wanting to find something for himself. Maybe he's trying to like discover, or just like, you know, hang out with his friends in the woods, which is great. But his kid is like she's like, my dad is freaking missing, so she has to go find him. And I just feel like it should have been 300 pages. Like, I would have read a whole thing about that. There was this amazing chemistry between the main character and this like kind of love interest. I love books that revolve around camp, even if the characters in it weren't necessarily camping, but they were talking about like their memories from camp and being counselors and what they've learned, and it was just really, really sweet. That's the thing with anthologies. Like, some anthologies are excerpts from longer novels and some are just standalone short stories and like intended to be short stories. But I wish that some of these stories in here were, or maybe they are planned to be full-length novels. I have no idea. But that one I definitely vote for. This is stunning. I have no idea what this stone is even called, but I need to show you this one too. I'll see you when I'm done the next one. Okay, I finished Some Other Metal and I'm giving it 3 stars, I think. I like the stories that integrate characters actually putting on performances. This one was interesting, some different relationships. Most of all, what I appreciate about this whole anthology is a lot of the point of it is taking like characters in the white straight canon. Let me just read this. Shakespeare did not do marginalized people any favors. That's an understatement. And a lot of us live with the effects of his characters and common storylines today. So it's nice seeing like non-binary characters and female-female relationships and just like various voices in general and beyond that. So I appreciate it a lot. The last story didn't do a lot for me. I just thought it was nice. Now for the next hour, I will be doing some housekeeping things for my channel. So I need to plan tomorrow's live show. We're going to be talking about House of Leaves, and I have to kind of skim a little bit of this, write down some questions, like what I want to talk about, and then talk to all of my co-hosts, make a plan for the time, give them some prep stuff. Then I need to make a thumbnail, I need to schedule the live show, and then I need to announce the live show on Goodreads, Instagram, wherever else. So I have some House of Leaves stuff to do, and then I have some membership stuff to do. So I need to plan a couple posts and take a couple pictures for a couple posts coming up for like people deciding future videos. I also need to answer a couple emails, but that should be quick. And then I have to pick, I'm gonna pick 3 winners. I said anybody who posts a picture of Every Vow We Break and tag the Literally Dead Book Club, which is my mystery thriller horror book club. Anybody reading the book and tagging us on Instagram before the 21st of this month, which was the release date of the paperback of this, will be entered to win one of a couple editions that I'm gonna give out of this. So I need to pick the winners, reach out to them, announce it somewhere, and then if they get back to me quickly, I can like place the orders with their local indie or Amazon or however they want to receive the copy. And while I do all that, next story in here, Dahlia Adler's. Okay, I just finished I Bleed, and I realized that it's like indie bookstore day, independent bookstore day, or whatever it's called. So I gave this 5 out of 5. Again, it was amazing. I've never read The Merchant of Venice, but I just wanted to show you what I'm wearing today. I think my skirt's from H&M, and then my shirt it was some cheap internet ad. But I've been like obsessed with skirts with a little slit in it. And if you don't know, Sweet Legs, how do I show you this? Sweet Legs just launched biker shorts, and no, the pattern doesn't match at all, but I'm basically living in them and I'm obsessed. So it's interesting how some of these stories have an author's note at the end. Some of them are more powerful with the author's note because it gives a little bit of background. I just realized I was showing you this bag because I'm taking the bookmarks over to my mom's right now, and I'm also taking her some new Sweet Legs that just launched. So that's what's now in my independent bookstore bag. But basically in the author's note, she talks about the origin, like the original story, and basically how there's a Jewish character in it who experiences like so many tragedies, and yet it's called a comedy and it's in the comedy section because for the protagonists of the story, they get their happy ending, they experience love and joy and all of those things. But she took an angle of this story and paired it with another story called The Book of Esther, where family and revenge are what win the day. So this was definitely the most intense story that I've read so far. Kay Ingram's was the most like vulgar. There was a lot of swear words in it and it was like kind of fun to read. This one was intense in like subject matter. It was about anti-Semitism. And while I've always understood the history of Shakespeare and the types of characters and type of representation that get the focus and how so many other identities aren't featured or don't get respect, it's definitely an extremely powerful experience getting to read it from a Jewish author who has such a clear intent with the story and I think really accomplished it. And I really want to go back and read the original play. So like I said, I'm heading to my mom's and we are now in a sonnet with His Invention by Brittany Caballero. This is a super short one and then we're into the tragedies. So I think I will just listen to that quickly in the vehicle on my way. Look, we'll give a behind the scenes in my vlog of your joy. Okay, I have selected this one. She says it's an emerald. I don't know anything.
It's an emerald.
I don't know anything about anything. Do you have mushroom charms?
No, I don't have a mushroom right now.
What would you put with this? I feel like you'd put like a fairy or something.
A Celtic knot.
She has them all organized like this, but then there's this whole section that's like so random.
So random.
A sandals.
Yes.
I have selected
The moon. That's too blue. Like this.
That's cute. Wow, there's so many. It's done.
It's done.
This is pretty. I want it.
I have it.
No, I will share. I'm home now and I got the drink. Though, I have to be honest, it doesn't look right. I have a strange feeling they might have only put mocha syrup and not the brown sugar stuff. I just finished listening to the sonnet, His Invention, and I loved it. It was really short. It was way better than I expected. It's inspired by sonnet 147, which I definitely can't recall off the top of my head. I wish that that was one of the things that they had in stock at Mosaic. But we're gonna try this and see if it tastes like an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, because I feel like that's the goal. Oh my god. It tastes good, but it kind of just like tastes like chocolate milk too. I can't pick out the brown sugar, but we're gonna say it's in here. That's good. I'll never order it again, but I get to mark it off on my bingo sheet. So I've crossed out a few things, and now we can continue with enjoy a new drink and make your own bookmark. That bookmark will be in the shop with the next collection, so probably in about a week. Okay, I honestly was not expecting to love the one by Kirsten White. I haven't read from this author before, but I know people have enjoyed her books. It's the one inspired by Romeo and Juliet. It's called Partying is Such Sweet Sorrow. And this is the kind of story that I feel like you expect going into this anthology. It's like a modern take of Romeo and Juliet. So it's like in text speak, there's lots of shortened language, and just like it takes some famous quotes from Romeo and Juliet and like makes them kind of like funny and modern. So instead of like saying Juliet is the sun, he's like, she's a swan, you two are swine, look her up, no one's hotter, she's like the sun. No, the sun wishes it was like her. I loved it, like 5 stars, loved it.
The fuck are you reading over there?
Romeo and Juliet. The ending was intense, like it was really good. And now the next one is inspired by Julius Caesar. It's called Dreaming in the Dark by Lindsay Smith. Dinner tonight is, okay, it's under a bunch of noodles, so you can't really see it, but tonight is spicy peanut lettuce wraps. So, enjoy. What? Okay, I finished the Julius Caesar story. I don't even remember what it was called. I didn't really like it. I think I gave it like 2 stars. And now I took a little time off. I watched some episodes of Shadow and Bone. I made Rob watch the first episode with me last night. And then I watched 2 tonight. I think it's fine. It's probably gonna take me like a month to watch them all. I have no plans to make any like content out of it. I know everyone's talking about it right now. But what we're up to is we're doing our nightly drawing challenge. Liam has the hiccups. I'll show you the previous night's efforts. So Liam's challenge was for all of us to draw ourselves as a Pokemon. This was Liam's. This was Rob's. And this was mine. And then our next challenge was to draw Baby Yoda because Liam has a stuffed Baby Yoda. This was Liam's. This was mine. I'm saving Rob's for last because he's very talented. Tonight I get to issue the drawing challenge and it's gonna be a portrait of somebody else in the family. So you have to draw Rob. Rob has to draw me and I have to draw you. Oh, and we can only use 3 colors each. No pencils, no pens, no black, white, gray, beige. We have to pick 3 colors. Rob's drawing me right now. I have to stay very still.
I'm trying to do a caricature.
Hold it up for everyone to see. And now open your eyes. And what do you think?
I can't see it.
You can look.
Oh, wow.
Good job.
Do you
That's
like
really
it? Ready?
Oh, wow.
Aww. My eyebrows are... Where's my forehead? Thanks, babe.
good. Kid loved mine up.
What do you think?
I like it.
I actually think Liam's the winner. Good utilization of colors.
Yeah.
You guys vote on your favorite down below.
Okay, let's do a second one.
I've been trying to get back on track, so I read 2 books. 2 books? 2 stories in the last hour. I read The Tragedy of Corey Lenez, an oral history by Toshi Onyubuchi. This is inspired by Coriolanus, whatever it is. I gave it 4 out of 5. So this isn't a play that I have read. I think the themes of it and it being one of the Roman plays, it's a lot about like politics and pride and betrayal and that type of stuff. So this one is written in like little quotes basically from different people who knew Corey, who is like a celebrity rapper, 17-year-old who was stabbed. And it's made, I just lost my page. It's made modernized based on the setting and everything and has to do with like gang violence. And I thought it was good. The next one is Out of the Storm, inspired by King Lear by Joy McCullough, which is an author I don't think I've ever heard of. King Lear is one of those ones that I'm just like okay with. I don't have any great memories of reading King Lear, but I know I didn't dislike it. But I do know that a lot is packed into King Lear. Like there are obviously different acts, as there always are, but like some of these stories are, sorry, I'm so tired. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna finish this out. But some of these stories encompass the entirety of a play. So like from beginning to end, they follow the same story. With this one, it has to do with like King Lear and dividing up everything between all of his daughters, and then a bunch of other stuff happens. And in this story, it's just like that first portion. And again, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It got intense, and again, it was told mostly in dialogue. I just love how this book completely mixes up how all of the stories are told, and I think a lot of freedom was given to the authors about like if they wanted to use the characters like real names, or if they wanted to do a spin-off, or they want to do something completely different, how much of the play to do, like how the narrative is structured. I think it's really cool, and it's definitely keeping me interested. I don't even know when I'm gonna wrap up this video because the readathon goes until 5 a.m. but I have a live show tomorrow at noon and I have a lot more prep to do. Okay, hold on. I'm going to knock out those last 2 bingo prompts by reading A Midsummer Night's Dream, and then, oh my god, I almost just died. Why do I almost hit myself in the eye in like every single vlog? Okay, and then reading King of Feathers, the one inspired by Midsummer Night's Dream. I think this will take me an hour. That's my prediction. And I'm wearing my pajamas, so we're hitting like 4 different prompts with this. And then if I'm really sleepy, I can just listen to the audiobook for the last couple stories at the end. That's my plan. Let's read. Good thing I have a reading timer. Could I look any cozier right now? I did it. I did it in more than an hour, but I did do an hour-long reading sprint. Though I'm starting to wonder if Deweys themselves were like running hour-long reading sprints and asked us to participate in one of those. Regardless, this was just as good as I remember, though I think my memory of this is stronger than any other Shakespeare work, because I remember in probably 10th grade having to dissect this line by line and basically rewrite the entire play in modern English. And then also we had a project. I remember like you could do any project you wanted. There weren't really many rules, and what I did is I took the entire cast of this play and I like cast a character from Friends as that person, and then I made this huge like poster board character map. I don't remember who was who, like who was Helena, who was Bottom and Puck, but I have such a strong memory of doing that. And then also I pretty recently rewatched Get Over It, which was one of my favorite movies as a teenager, and it is A Midsummer Night's Dream. Not to mention, like, this is probably the play besides Romeo and Juliet that shows up the most and like is referenced in other media. Still love it. This was an incredible addition because it had so many things. It had a publisher's note, it had a little blurb about the theatrical world, which I wonder if it's the same in every single like book in this whole series. And then we have the text of Shakespeare, which again I wonder if this is the opening to all of them, if they're all gonna talk about something different. But I loved this. It talks about like even the line Romeo, oh Romeo, and how that line has changed over time. And then there was an introduction specifically to A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I really liked this part. It's clearly written by like an expert. It's very long and it talked about a lot of things. I appreciated the conversation about like Puck and Robin and like how that character's name is used and why the choices were made in this edition. A note on the text, and then it finally begins like 50 pages in. That was amazing. And then as predicted, side note, I'm in the bathroom because I'm gonna do my nighttime routine. I was gonna do it before I talked to you, but I forgot. As predicted, King of the Fairies, I'm about to write the 5 out of 5 on here. I think it's my favorite. I know I've said that multiple times, but I think that is my favorite one in here. The author's note at the end was great, and referenced like why they chose this story and the characters, like reading the characters originally, how AM felt as a Latinx reader, having this character who was seemingly like taken away from their family and put into this land of white fairies. And so just giving that character a different story is really cool. So it was nice in this one that it was kind of side characters in a different kind of timeline than the original. It was beautiful. It was lovely. I think I'm glad that, not that this would have gone in the direction that some of the other ones did, where it was mostly dialogue or other things going on. Like, it was just a beautifully told story in this author's like traditional lyrical writing, and it really lent itself well to this story. So really stoked about it. Okay, nighttime routine. Why did I bring you in here? I don't know. Charcoal toothpaste, fun flossing, contacts are coming out, warning for eyeball touching. Oh my god. I've been asked a lot recently about my skincare routine, and it is simple products. Makeup remover, There's my eyeballs. A quick wash. I'm not giving any advice. This is just what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And I'm not giving advice because like I just naturally have fine skin. I don't think I can attribute it to any part of my skincare routine at any point in my life. The only thing I really have issues with is the giant pores on my nose. So recently I got this like little kit from Amazon, and these like blackhead pore extractors have been life-changing. Okay, warning for up close blackhead. And then I use this like serum that I can already see is working. It's just the generic Sephora one, but I've been using it for a week and I see such a difference. I think you're supposed to use this all over your face and neck, but I really only put it on my nose. And then moisturizer. And we're done. I refuse to fall asleep before wrapping up this vlog. I'm gonna do it. I can do it. I can do it. Where's my book? I ran out of Post-its, so my last 3 are dog-eared. Patrice Caldwell's Elsinore was 5 freaking stars. And it's funny because the author's note basically touched on all of the things that I wanted to say in my mini review. So it introduces a vampire like character, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's basically like Dracula. And then the story was written in an epistolary format like Dracula, and then the author's note was like, I was inspired by Dracula. I thought it was really cool, and my favorite thing consistently with this book, with like Anna Marie Michelmore's and Patrice Caldwell's especially, is there are certain pairings that might not necessarily be canon, but they like take a different spin on it. Like they change some things about some relationships, and it just makes you feel warm and cozy for some reason somehow. Yes, it's about vampires, but also it's a sweet friendship story. We're nearing the end. Next up is We Fail by Samantha Mabry. Never heard of them. Don't worry, I'm not asleep. I told you I wasn't falling asleep, and I'm not asleep. I might look asleep, but I'm not. That was a 5-star read. It touched on some things that I wasn't expecting, and I always appreciate a story that covers pregnancy loss and miscarriage, because I just don't feel like it's like talked about enough. And now we're on to the last one. Lost Girl, inspired by The Winter's Tale by Melissa Basherdoust. I did it. I participated in Dewey's 24-hour readathon for, I don't know, the 4th year in a row. I definitely didn't do as much online. Like, I know they have photo challenges and you're supposed to sign up and you're supposed to do all of these things. I didn't, but I did do the bingo board and I hit 2 bingos. I did a reading sprint. I tried a new drink. I'm sure I read many characters who share characteristics to me. I made a bookmark. I read in my pajamas, if you want to call these my pajamas. I don't sleep in anything. A book set in spring, summer. Participated in my own Buzzword-a-thon challenge, kind of. Read it in 3 different locations. I said I read a standalone, reread a favorite, something with a unique cover, supernatural elements. I read a humorous book. I read at least 150 pages. I read a book with an even page count. I read a book with animals on the cover. They're little birds. Published before the year 2000. I really filled out this whole board with this. Oh, and I just started blabbering about how excited I was to be done. I didn't tell you about the last story. I've read a few different books based on A Winter's Tale, but I don't actually remember reading A Winter's Tale. Sorry, The Winter's Tale. I feel like I have. It's a familiar story, but I'm trying to figure out when I would have read it. If I enjoyed it, that's at the top of my list for rereading Shakespeare. And this was very good. 5 out of 5. Overall, I gave so many stories 5 out of 5 that I am putting this at a 5-star on Goodreads. it's like mathematically more like a 4 point something, and this couldn't be anything but 5 stars. So I had a good day. I feel like I intended to talk more about Shakespeare in this video, my history with reading it and like different like fun facts and stuff, but I don't know if that's really necessary. I'm not like clearly not a Shakespeare expert, but I've always had so much fun reading his work and things inspired by his work. So that's Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I don't know how, I feel like I always finish my vlogs and I'm like, I don't know how good this vlog was, but you watched it until this point, maybe. Did you skim? Be honest. Did you skim through it? I had a good time. I pushed all of my other TBRs like a day later, but I think it was worth it because I feel like, I don't know, what do I feel? I feel like I stayed true to my channel's past. I'm very tired. I'm sure you can tell. I'm just gonna go. I will see you again before we both know it. Okay, bye.